Hey there, welcome to Kafkin Park Chess. Welcome to another video. I'm going to show a variation in the Queen G5 attack of the Rousseau gambit accepted. And you can see the starting position already on the board. And if you want to know how to get into this position, I suggest my introduction video. You can find the link in the description where everything is explained. And yeah, I think let's jump right into it. In this video, we will discuss how to play against White's response d3. Now, what's the purpose of d3? First, okay, they attack this pawn, they challenge your central pawn. And secondly, it's also a discovered attack on your queen. But on the other hand, White leaves both pawns, which are currently attacked by the queen, undefended. So the queen has to move, and you just take the pawn on g2. And by taking the pawn, you're also attacking the rook. Now, what can White do here? They can't defend the rook. They're going to lose it. And the only option, actually, is to try to launch a counterattack with this diagonal being now very weak as the king has moved from here. So most opponents are going to play this queen to h5 move with check. Now follows a very forcing line, and which goes like this. You block the check with the pawn. Your pawn is going to take. Now you take back with the pawn, sacrificing your rook in the corner, but actually they take your rook, but you take their rook. And here it comes like the first position where there's two main moves, and you should know how to play against both. Now, White has actually two options in this move. One of which is the best move according to the engine, which keeps like the 0.0, which would be going with the king here, defending the knight, which is currently attacked by the queen. And the second move, which is a huge blunder and which we are going to cover first, is what happens if White decides to take this knight, which is currently undefended. So let's say they take. Now all threatening like very bad checks and even potentially checkmate. So what can you do? You have to attack yourself. And as you can notice from the eval bar after this move, now it's -8. So you have a great advantage, but you just have to convert it. And I will show you how to do it. So first you take the knight, giving this check. And here White has actually two options. They can either move here or there. We are going to cover both moves, of course. Now if they go here, maintaining the defense of this pawn, which is also currently attacked by the queen, here you have to play the move d5. This is very crucial because this move has three purposes. First, of course, yeah, you attack their bishop, so it comes with tempo. Secondly, now your bishop is free to join the attack. And thirdly, the bishop does no longer control this crucial square, where White can put you on a lot of pressure. So White will usually take because, yeah, the pawn is not defended, and yeah, what else to do? But if they take, it's again a blunder. It's already mate in 9. Actually, the best move according to the engine would be this move to kind of stay in the game, but no human would play this, yeah, because they would hang their bishop. So yeah, most players are going to take here, and now you have a checkmate in 9. But you have to know how to checkmate your opponent, because as I told before, if you make like a sloppy move, let's just make a random move to show it, then you are actually losing quite badly, because yeah, now White has a lot of initiative, and you're going to suffer a lot, and White is actually much better. That's why it's important to keep attacking and to try and checkmate your opponent. I can show one variation, which is the most resilient one for white. So you go here with the check, they go up the board, you give another check with the knight, they go up the board again, taking the pawn. Now you give this check with the queen. If they block with the bishop, you give another check with the queen. If they try to run away, you give another check. Now if they go back, now if it's actually another check with the bishop, and if they go here, they go right into a discovery, and finally it's checkmate, and you win the game. Okay, let's go a little bit back. Yeah, here. Actually, if now in this position the king does not go here, but if they decide to go there, now you simply take this pawn, and again it's actually a checkmate in 17 according to the engine. Also here it's not so simple, I'm showing one variation. If the king runs here, then you give this check. It's actually important to go here and not here, even though that would be a nice check as well, but if you go here you are also simultaneously protecting this pawn. So after white moves, now you can make this move, which otherwise you couldn't, because if the queen goes, he takes this pawn with check, then you might lose the game. So now you can play this safely, and if they take, you can continue with your checkmating attack, which can take a little bit, but the main goal is to force the king onto this square, because there you can checkmate it easily. Now they can be a little bit resilient, but finally they have to go there, and now you can continue checkmating it. Just notice that these two squares are never available for the king, because our nice dark square bishop is helping out. Now you can give this check with the knight. Now, yeah, another check with the queen. And if they block, it's no problem. You just go here. You can even sacrifice the knight. That's no problem, because this is checkmate. Yeah, with the bishops nicely helping out and taking away these squares from the king. Yeah, pretty nice. Okay, now let's go back where we started. Actually, here. We have shown that this move is a huge blunder, which most probably will end in a nice checkmate for you, if you know how to do it. And now let's check out what happens if white plays the best move according to the engine, which keeps equality, which is the move king to f1. Now they are defending the knight, so you cannot take it. And here actually you have to know two engine moves, otherwise with all other moves you are pretty lost. Now the goal actually is to get this bishop to this square to give this check to the king, and currently it's not possible because the bishop is locked in, and even if it wasn't locked in, the queen still helps out in defending this square. Of course the knight is pinned to the king, so it can't move here, but the queen is still controlling this square. Now to get there with the bishop, you have to sacrifice first the pawn to free the bishop. Now they're obviously going to take, and then you have to sacrifice the knight, which can be taken by the bishop. But now the queen is no longer defending this square, so you can move the bishop here, and it comes with check. Now best move for white is to go here, and now you have to check white again. And this is actually the reason why, this line is the reason why it's considered equal. Because here, if you play an engine, the game will end with a threefold repetition. Because best move for white and only move is to go back. Then you check again, and so on. And the game ends. But fortunately, we are not playing engines. And which human would actually go into a threefold repetition here. I mean, white is up a knight and a pawn, so has some material advantage, and has also like some massive threats against black's king, with also this bishop seemingly being very strong. So all humans in this position, actually they move the king here, and that's a blunder, because now it's not equal anymore, now it's minus 3.4. And even if white wants to stay in the game, they have to find quite incredible moves they are most probably not going to find. Now what are we going to play here? Now it's very easy, you castle. Long castle, and suddenly your king, which was very exposed before, is now very safe. Actually this diagonal is like now completely safe, because there's your bishop defending, and suddenly you have also some threats. You are threatening first the knight to take the knight, which is not defended. Then you are threatening the bishop, which is not defended actually. Maybe in some lines you can take it. Of course not now, because otherwise white can take the bishop with check. But the most serious threat is actually to go with the bishop here, which would put the king in check, and then you can pick up their queen, because it's a discovered attack. So just to show it, if they play a random move, then you just go here, and they might take it, and you pick up the queen, and of course you're completely winning. So that's actually the main threat you have in this position. And yeah, what can white do here? Actually, the best move according to the engine is just to take the bishop, because yeah, you can still see that it's like attacked twice. So yeah, why not taking it? So they might think, okay, let's take the bishop. Also now you don't have any discoveries anymore. But now just notice that white's position is very, very bad actually. This knight is still attacked, yeah, and the bishop is pinned to the queen, so it can't move, and the queen can even not go very far, because otherwise they would lose the bishop. So what is your reaction? You just take the knight, and now even this knight is pinned, because they can't move it, otherwise they lose the rook. So white is suddenly completely cramped. While a couple of moves before it seemed that white had a very nice attack. So there's not many options here actually for white. They might say, okay, let's take this knight, but it's no problem, you can just take it back, and the situation remains quite the same. Now here maybe they think, okay, let's activate the queen, like also defending this pawn which was attacked by the queen, but actually that doesn't help, because in this position you have this very nice little check and forcing the king to run, and now it's actually completely winning again. You can just take this pawn, for example. Maybe they try to bring their king into safety, but it's no way, it's far too late. Now you can maybe even make a second queen, and there's many other lines, but everything is completely winning, of course. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back and see what kind of other options white has in this position after long castle. One option is actually, maybe they notice that this knight is still endangered, and they try to bring it into safety. Now, of course, you can make your discovered check, and here, of course, if they block with the pawn, then you can just take their queen. But you have to be a little bit careful, because if they block with the knight, then suddenly your queen is attacked as well, and now if you take their queen, they will take your queen, and it's just a trade. So here you should not blindly take the queen, but instead you can just take the rook, because it's not defended. And their queen is still attacked, so white has to do something about it, so they have to move the queen. And here actually you can again just take this pawn, because there's actually not much white can do at the moment. But maybe white tries to find some counterplay, and they move the bishop here, and threatening checkmate here. but that's no problem. Best move according to the engine is just to block the queen with the knight. The knight is nicely defended by the bishop, so you're completely fine actually in this position, and you can even maybe they try to save their knight, which was also still hanging here, and it doesn't help. You can give this check. And notice that the knight can't take the queen because it's also pinned, just to mention. And here you can take this pawn, threatening to make a new queen, and if they try to stop it, it's actually checkmate in 3. First you take here with check. If they take, it's no problem. You give this check with the bishop. Only they can block, but now it's a nice checkmate, because the king has nowhere to go, and this knight can't take the queen again because it's again pinned to the king by the bishop. Okay, let's go a little bit back again. Now, what else can white do in this position? They could say, okay, let's develop the other knight because it's still in the corner, so they can move the knight here. And now not only does this prevent this discovered check, but also this knight now is nicely defended by the rook. So here there's actually only one move for white, and you have to know it because all other moves are not particularly good, which is to take this pawn. And again, white is quite cramped, and yeah, what can they do here? Maybe they try to take your knight in this position, but that actually doesn't help, because now you can take this bishop, and if white doesn't want to lose the queen, there's only one other option, which is actually checkmate in 1, because your bishop pairs are like fully operational and the king has nowhere to go. Pretty nice moves. And you can see it's a lot of fun to play, and many tactics, tricks, and if you know them, you will have an easy game and just beat your opponent easily. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you soon.